Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of phobias, a topic that intrigues many. Specifically, we're talking about specific phobias, those intense, irrational fears of particular objects or situations that can be overwhelming. Now, we've all got our little quirks and dislikes, things that make us uncomfortable. But a specific phobia goes beyond a simple aversion. It's much more intense and can be quite debilitating. We're talking about a fear so strong it can disrupt your life, causing you to avoid certain places, activities, or even everyday objects that trigger your phobia. Think about it. A fear of spiders so intense you can't even look at a picture of one without feeling anxious. Or maybe it's a fear of heights that keeps you from enjoying a simple hike with friends, making you miss out on fun experiences. These are just a couple of examples of how specific phobias can impact people's lives in significant ways. And the big question is, why do these phobias develop? What causes them? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a complex interplay of various factors. It's a combination of factors, biological, psychological, and social. Let's break it down and understand more about these influences. First up, let's talk about the brain and its role in phobias. Our brains are amazing, complex organs, but sometimes things can go a little haywire, leading to irrational fears. One theory is that imbalances in certain brain chemicals, like GABA, might play a significant role in the development of phobias. GABA is like our brain's natural chill pill, helping to keep anxiety in check and maintain a sense of calm. When GABA levels are low, anxiety can spike, making us more susceptible to developing phobias and other anxiety disorders. Another important factor is something called long-term potentiation, or LTP. This is basically the brain's way of strengthening connections between neurons, like building a superhighway in your brain for certain responses. When we repeatedly encounter something that scares us, those neural pathways get reinforced, making the fear response even stronger and more automatic. It's like practicing a dance move over and over until it becomes second nature. The more you do it, the more ingrained it becomes in your brain's neural network. The same goes for fear responses in the brain, making phobias deeply rooted and challenging to overcome. Now, let's move on to behavioral factors and how they play a crucial role in the development of phobias. Have you ever noticed how some fears seem to stem from a specific bad experience? This is more common than you might think. That's where classical conditioning comes in. It's a fundamental concept in behavioral psychology. Imagine this. You're a kid, and a dog jumps out and bites you. That moment can be incredibly impactful. That terrifying experience can create a strong link in your brain between dogs and fear, making you wary of dogs in the future. So even if you encounter a friendly pup later on, your brain might still trigger that fear response, making you feel uneasy. Then there's operant conditioning, which is all about rewards and punishments, shaping our behaviors over time. If you have a phobia, you might avoid the thing you're afraid of to reduce anxiety. This avoidance can become a habit. While this provides temporary relief, it actually reinforces the phobia in the long run, making it harder to overcome. It's like avoiding a scary movie. You might feel better in the moment, but the fear remains. You might feel better in the moment, but you're not giving yourself a chance to realize it's just a movie, and the fear persists. Overcoming phobias often requires facing these fears gradually. But it's not just about our brains and past experiences. The way we think about and interpret situations also plays a huge role in phobias. This is where cognitive biases come in. One common bias is memory bias, where we tend to remember negative or traumatic events more vividly than positive ones. So, if you had a negative experience with, say, elevators, you might be more likely to dwell on that memory and overestimate the likelihood of it happening again. Then there's catastrophic thinking, which is basically our brain's way of hitting the panic button. It's that what-if spiral that can send anxiety levels soaring. For someone with a phobia, catastrophic thinking might look like this. What if I get stuck in an elevator and nobody hears me? The world around us. Social factors in phobias. Now, let's talk about the influence of the world around us. Our environment and social interactions can also contribute to the development and maintenance of phobias. Think about specific environmental triggers. If you grew up in a home where a parent was constantly afraid of spiders, you might be more likely to develop that same fear. Or let's say you witnessed someone having a panic attack on a plane. That experience could potentially trigger a fear of flying in you. And sadly, there's still a lot of stigma surrounding mental health, including phobias. People might feel ashamed or embarrassed to admit they have a phobia, which can prevent them from seeking help. Overcoming phobias, treatment and support. The good news is that phobias are highly treatable. With the right support and guidance, people can overcome their fears and live full, meaningful lives. Therapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, can be incredibly effective in treating phobias. CBT helps people identify and change those negative thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to their fear. Another approach is exposure therapy, which involves gradually exposing people to the thing they're afraid of in a safe and controlled environment. This helps to desensitize them to the fear and break the cycle of avoidance. The impact of stigma. One of the biggest hurdles to overcoming a phobia is the stigma surrounding mental health. Many people feel ashamed or embarrassed to admit they have a phobia, fearing judgment or ridicule from others. This stigma can prevent individuals from seeking the help they need, leading to feelings of isolation and hopelessness. It's crucial to remember that phobias are not a sign of weakness. They are real, treatable conditions that affect people from all walks of life. By fostering a culture of understanding and support, we can encourage individuals to seek treatment without fear of judgment. Understanding phobias for better support. So, as you can see, specific phobias are complex and multifaceted. They're not just about being scaredy cats. They stem from a combination of biological, psychological, and social factors that interact in intricate ways. The more we understand about phobias, the better equipped we are to support those who are struggling. By promoting open dialogues about mental health, challenging stigma, and encouraging help-seeking behavior, we can create a more compassionate.
Want to rise to your full potential in your studies and revise like a boss? You can trust Study Guide today to have you covered. Subscribe to this channel and see our website linked in the description of this video to see revision articles to maximize your study gains.